And step 20, we are on wheels and tyres. For this particular step, we're doing the front wheels and tyres. So just to let you know what the components are, first of all, we need our F parts. F1, and this is F2, and this is F3, which goes in the inside. Okay, we're also going to need these little guys here, which are 2 by 8 millimeters. They're the machine screws in bag A, and these are the 2 millimeter nuts in bag A. And of course, you've got your obligatory tyres. Oh, they smell just like they were in 1984. And yeah, you've got these guys here. Look like great big donuts. Yeah, and they are the ribbed front tyres, as you can see. All right, so let's pop these all together. And you can see here I've also got the rear ones as well ready, because I know we've got next step is going to be rear. All right, here. Now, the other thing is, do I paint them? Do I leave them white? Or do I paint them? Anyone who knows me knows that I've got a bit of a thing for wheels looking like alloy wheels. So the idea we've got to try and do here is push our component parts of our wheels, so our F1, our F2s and our F3s. So the F3s are already inside the tyre, as you can see, and then on the side that has the longest bevel, which is this side, is the F2, and you need to make sure you line the F2 so that the holes go all the way through. Okay, and you kind of see how the way that this is actually shaped is you're actually gripping the tyre, so you're actually clamping this, so you have to make sure these are all lined up. So as you can see, I've done both the front ones, so the F2 parts are in position. You can see that I've actually not sprayed inside here. This is where the bearing goes, because I don't want the bearing to be jammed. So when the bearing goes in, it'll be better. So now we'll turn them over and do this one, which is your F1 part. Okay. So let me see if I can show you that now. So here's our F1 part, lining it up so we make sure it's on the slightly smaller of the flange, as per the drawing over here. And you can see I've got these holes lined up. You've got the lip here, so it's a case of making sure that we get these lined up, and looks good to me. And I could press and it should clamp together. So the idea is now that you've got that clamped together, the tyre is clamped, and we should be able to bolt through with our BA5s and nut BA7. Okay, right, let's get the nuts and bolts out, see if it works. Moment of truth. So just make sure that when you get the screws, you pick out the correct ones. So these are the BA5s and not the BA4s. Just get your BA4 so you can see there's a slight difference. You can see there, look, BA4 is slightly longer. So make sure you get the BA5s and your M2 nuts, which are BA7s. So, case of screwing these 5 per wheel. There you are. So pop one of the screws in there, look, as you can see. And now got to pop a little nut on this end, gauge it in, and then just pop your finger in there just to hold it and see if you can engage with some threads, which we can. Okay, and then as I've done one here, I'm just going to do one over the other side, and that hopefully should even the pressure. have to excuse my little fat fingers. And then torque them up. Like so. I've got to go and do the other one. So that's the two front ones, nut and bolted through, and we technically got to do the same thing again for the rears. Okay, so just quickly showing you for the rear. So step 20, we've done step 20 there. Step 21, as you can see, same process again. So I won't show you on film, it's the same for the back as it is for the front. Pop the R3 part inside, and then again the R2 goes on one side and the R1 on this side. And again, making sure you get the right one. R1 on this side with a smaller recess on this side, and this is the larger recess on that side. Okay, make sure you get them right. So anyway, I'll do that and I shall show you what I've done. So here we go. We've now done step 20 and step 21 because they're very similar, just using the different parts. Step 20 for the front wheels, you use the F1, F2 and F3 parts, and with the rear wheels you're using the R1, R2 and R3 parts, and you pop them into your wheels, so you end up with wheels and tyres that kind of look like this. Okay, so we need to start attaching them to the car. So we now need to move on to step 22. Okay, so we're on to step 22. Quite a straightforward step for 22 is, we need some of our bearings. Well, as you know, I'm using my sealed bearings instead. And we need a couple of the 4mm locking nuts. So a couple of those. Of course, we need our wheels and we need our chassis. And it's a case of pop two of these into there, so front and back, and using BC5, the 4mm locking nut, place it onto the spindle. And notice in the drawing it talks about greasing it. Now if you're using plastic bearings, yep, you would grease it, but because we're using proper bearings, we don't need to do that. Let me show you how. So take our bearing, pop that into our wheel, like so. Both sides, of course. Okay, there we are. So that's in. Nice. Make sure it's pushed home, which it is. And then take our wheel, pop it onto our spindle, and then take our nut and do the nut up. And it's as simple as that. Use your box wrench to do the nut up. Just reposition that. There we are. That's it. Eccola. I have to do the same again on the other side. And there you go. We are now on step 23. And step 23, we need to attach the rear wheels. So these big guys here. Right. So two of those. So two of the wheels that we need. We also need the B5s, which are like an adapter. Again, a couple of the 4mm locking nuts, the BC5s. And in this case, we need two of these guys, BD5s, which are the 2x10mm shafts, which go through the axle, which then locates on the back of the B5 part. Pick that out, locates on the back, and then we attach the wheel. Right, let me show you how. Okay, now let's see if we can put one of these on. So first of all, we need one of these little 10mm shafts, like that. And then you see the little hole in here? You're going to slide that through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that horizontal to make it easier on myself and drop the pin. Excuse me, what? Sorry. Yeah, there you go. So pin goes through. And just to make it a little bit easier, I'm just turning the shaft horizontal so it doesn't fall out. So now you can see, hopefully, there you go. And now all you do is you take the B5 part and you line it up so it goes over the top. Then you take your wheel and you line that up. And the idea is, I'll show you in the other one, is these lining with those. So you kind of feel it into place. Check to make sure it's engaged, which it is. And then locking nut. Oh, this morning I'm all butterfingers. And then tighten that down. Like so. Got to do the same again on the other side. So pop the wheel on, as you can see now. And then your wheel nut, of course. Hold the wheel at the same time. And tighten that down. And again, just it stops finger tight. That's what you're looking at. There's a little bit of nylon in there to lock it. There we are. So that's that bit done. Lovely, nice and smooth. Very good. Step 24. I think this must be the most simple step. Is basically taking your chassis, taking your C3 part, your battery component, and then you would normally putting your battery in and connecting up, but we're going to do that a little bit later. But just to show you how the battery goes in, it just literally engages like so, and then you push it shut. Done. Okay, so now that's that bit done. So step 24 completed. And with this one you need to pull and that way to take it out. So it's like that. Okay, so she's on our wheels. And step 25. Step 25 is all about steering adjustments. So we are trying to get a little bit of toe in. So it's back to the main chassis again, and what we're going to be doing is having a look at how much toe in we get on the axle. So I'm going to power that up, power up the servo, power up the radio gear, make sure this is definitely in neutral. I did do it right at the start, but do it again, and then adjust each one of your turnbuckles either side to get the right amount of toe in that we're looking for on here. Okay, so see what we can do. Oh, try and see if we can get this on film a little bit. So all I've done here is turned on the radio, turned on your radio, turned on your car, and all I've done here is just try to get these a little bit of towing in. I don't know if you can pick this out on camera. Got a little bit of towing in on here. So hoping to see if that can work, and set the end points so that the servo is not straining, and we kind of got a steering. Yep. A case of now taking it out for a run after we've got the bodywork sorted out. So there we go. That's the steering setup. Step 25 now completed.